Hey, welcome back, everybody. Time to grab your cigar, pour yourself a good stiff one because he's back for another session. Oh, my God. The RAAD life.
What does cigar have to do with it?
Did you hear the pain in the voice, right?
2 in a row today.
We're double hitter for Paul again. And when I say hitter, it's hitting him hard.
You need a double cappuccino.
A double shot. No, I need something stronger than that.
If you got something stronger than that, you better be passing it around.
Maybe a good Turkish coffee.
I mean, it is Wednesday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And he's talking politics. Oh, my God. Again.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to talk politics, you better have the top shelf stuff.
Well, you got the real deal. That's
yeah,
for
but
sure.
you have to stay in control.
Ground control to Chef Pascal. We were joking with Chef Pascal that he's got the headset on. He could be landing planes.
We are ready to
And then
land.
we started doing David Bowie song references. And
Ground control to
we're going to
Major
land
Tom. David
It's
Bowie.
a slow
no,
descent.
do that again, but Chef Pascal instead of Major Tom.
It's a slow descent because the landing is next week.
David Bowie. David Bowie.
Okay, and then of course when we said David Bowie, we were like, is that E silent? And it was a perfect segue to our guest. And yes, this is our second hour in a row. So if you've been listening to us, I apologize. But
We got to get Chef Pascal to cover his ear. It looks bizarre. He's only got half on his
got
right ear.
half an ear.
His right ear. You got to pull it back over your whole
Chef
ear.
Pascal,
there.
it's either a full ear Monty or
That's
it's
right.
a half ear.
No half ear
Is it
here.
half Monty or full Monty?
That's it. Okay.
All right. He's
Don't ask me twice.
Did you? Oh no, I know better than that. So.
You're talking about silent E's.
Well, yeah, we're talking about silent E's, and we have a candidate for District 3 from a city that is, I have been saying the name for 30 years in a certain way, and I've been corrected for 30 years in another way, right? And then Pascal just threw me a third version of it when I basically mentioned it. So, Amanda Quintanilla. Now, if you look at the way it's spelled, there's some silent letters in there.
Right.
And you're running for?
City Council for San Clemente in District 3.
And we're giggling
sure
because
it's San Clemente?
I basically recognize that the word maybe has some origins in Spanish, or it's trying to be Spanish, or trying to be, Frenchish kind of sounding. And I would say San Clemente. Now, you could blame it on, some French classes in my past where I was basically told the E can be silent. But for 30 years, I've been saying, hi, I live in San Clemente. And everybody goes, no, you live in San Clemente.
That's right.
Right? And then when we were having this conversation in front of ground controller here.
And in my French
the French accent. How do you say?
Saint Clement.
Saint Clement.
So when you come to visit me, you come to visit me in?
Saint Clement.
See, so I don't know where we're going with this, but it was an interesting conversation.
I lived for years in San Pedro, and they would correct you if you said Pedro. It's San Pedro. It's correct to pronounce it incorrect. It's correct to say it wrong.
So it's Pedro for president, not Pedro for president.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Little Napoleon Dynamite reference there.
Exactly.
Because he has some Hispanic past, I think San Clemente is appropriate.
Oh yeah, no. The pueblo of San Clemente has been around for a long time, like since 1925.
Because
right?
Ole sold
origins is in the developed
Ole
community.
sold the land. Ole Hansen, who did it, sold the land to a bunch of Midwesterners like me who still think we're from Des Plaines or Detroit, even though it's Detroit in French, the river. We mispronounced French and Spanish names, and that's
Is it any wonder we are a mess? Is it any wonder we don't know where we came from or where we're going?
Yeah, we can't say the name of our city correctly.
But thank God for people willing to stick their neck out and actually run for office every 4 years, right? That basically try to guide us down this dangerous path of not knowing where we came from or where we're going. So I've known you for a while.
You have, yes.
In San Clemente. Right?
Yes, San Clemente.
All right. Why don't you tell people that don't know you a little bit of background?
Sure. I fought the toll road with you.
Yes.
And with Michelle Schumacher, Kathy Ward.
You started with a sore spot for Paul.
The
toll road. No, only because they failed at finding the toll road.
I lived up in Rancho. They built it right behind our high school, Tesoro High School, like they were going to build it behind your high school, and we screamed, and they said, "Get over it." And when Rod and I years ago was doing the show, and they're just extending it through Rancho Santa Margarita, he says, we're going to stop it in San Clemente.
And what did
No
you
way.
say to me?
No way. No way. You can't stop.
way.
Yeah, you're in a room with a non-believer.
Wow.
Yes, he's a
You
non-believer.
stopped it. You guys
He's
stopped
He's
it
a
somehow.
recovering Catholic non-believer when it comes to the toll road. Yeah.
Wow. All along the way, people.
That's why he lives in Rancho, not in San Clemente.
That's
Laguna
right,
Niguel, Laguna Beach tried to fight their toll road. We tried to fight our toll road, not just because we weren't sure we needed it, because the way they placed it without even asking
Have
us.
you spent much time in San Clemente? Do you know that every house comes with what you would think in normal houses would be a coat closet. In ours, it's pitchforks and torches. Every single house has pitchforks and torches in San Clemente.
How did you do it when nobody else stopped it?
We had a great grassroots movement,
Right.
co-founded by Michelle Schumacher,
Schumacher.
and wonderful support from our city council, Lori Dunchuk, Kathy Ward, Tim Brown.
Rod
and
always says that
Eggleston.
people who
Yeah,
couldn't get along,
well, hold on,
who wouldn't even
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
each other, united over this issue.
absolutely.
So Eva O'Keefe, who basically the people were on different ends,
Absolutely.
and so thank you, because I would like you to confirm this, because Paul doesn't believe this, and I told Chris Duncan when he was here, I said, hey, listen, somebody give me the address to the toll road agency. I want to send them a thank you card, because they unified San Clemente.
Absolutely.
Right? We had a couple of really contentious political cycles before that. Do you remember?
We did,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then our representatives were excellent. I mean, we have Senator Pat Bates. We had,
Yeah.
Assembly Member Rocky Chavez,
Yeah.
Bill Bro, and actually Darrell Issa, too.
Yeah, yeah.
They were all supportive
Right.
of us and of our efforts. They
Yeah.
introduced legislation to help fight the toll road.
See, and those are all people on different sides of the aisle that were basically supporting this, in part because they also knew what the city they were dealing with was. I lovingly refer to San Clemente as being a city. See, it's hard for me to say San Clemente, but I'm going to still stay correct in this show. Okay, but when I refer to San Clemente, I say I grew up in an extended family. San Clemente actually acts like a functional, dysfunctional extended family. People are in people's business in a good way. They are really activated. They really care. They understand the uniqueness of the community that they live in. And even though we disagree on certain things, you can always count on the fact that most people are not necessarily driven by an ulterior motive that would act not in the interest of the community at large. And I think that is probably a solid statement, and it has served us well. And as such, we are very active. I mean, how many times have you gone to city council and basically was standing room only outside?
Oh, it was just amazing, the outpour of people that coming together.
Right.
And it didn't matter what political group you were.
No.
Absolutely. It was just amazing. There was
I mean, you want an example of people that are from different sides of the aisle basically finding consensus and common ground. Look at what we've done on certain issues.
Absolutely. It was phenomenal. It was amazing at the TCA Board of Directors meetings. And then some of us went to other cities regarding, to speak on development impact fees that
Right.
the cities were paying.
Right, but I
to
mean,
the
we
TCA.
did it. We did it on the toll road. We did it on the rail when they wanted to run two
That's
tracks in the
right.
middle on the beach on San Clemente. We've done it on so many different things.
Playa del Norte.
Yeah,
yes,
Playa del
absolutely.
Norte, yeah.
Amazon, there was
Yeah.
like over 6,225 people that signed that petition.
So
Right.
I
It
have
was
a question
incredible.
for that. What would happen if finally?
If you move to San Clemente and open a restaurant, right?
No, actually,
we would get a lot of people to show up.
Yes.
Saint Clement.
good
No,
restaurant.
but you're going to call it Saint Clement by Pascal?
Clément. Oh, voilà. Oh, Clémentine.
Saint Clementine. Oh, okay, all right, fine.
Wow, that's-
He found another way
Another
around it.
There's
Are you serving
always a way around it.
citrus infused cuisine?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little
There's
Cointreau.
always a way around it. Like the toll road, there's always a way around it. Why the toll road wouldn't have gone further?
Well,
through-
that's a
15
little bit of a touchy subject,
through
only
Camp
because
Pendleton,
Originally, it was going to.
it
Originally
wasn't going to go through Camp Pendleton. It was
Gonna
going to
go
go
around the
through the
city.
watershed.
Yes.
It was going to go through San Mateo.
because
Exactly.
it's a good
Right.
spot.
Had they said Camp Pendleton, I don't think anybody would have actually minded. If it was at
No.
Camp Pendleton, dropping off at like
Yeah.
San Onofre, I think it would have probably passed. To be honest
you
with
know,
you,
for people
I mean,
that-
but the surf rider came out and said no, you can't run it through San Mateo, which rightfully so, because it would have affected the watershed, which would have affected a surfing spot with trestles and cottons,
Absolutely.
right? So
Safe trestles.
so that's it was
No.
supposed it was not
But
the
what
alignment
would
was
be
through
a
San
great
Mateo.
idea to have a shortcut like that from people from inland Orange County or wherever to go to San Diego.
So here's the thing that I'm worried about, Amanda, and I think we need to, again, this is a shout out to the people in San Clemente. If you think that fight is over,
No.
I don't think that fight is over, because here's what's going to happen. The development of the harbor is going to put more impact on South County. Anybody who has driven around the elbow of Dana Point knows what it's like on most days, and especially on weekends. So that traffic down and back from San Diego, on top of additional traffic that's going to the harbor,
Always, when you
it's
come
going to
back.
be bad. And so
Yeah.
guard yourselves, because we're not done with this fight.
Well, thank you for bringing that up, because at the August OCTA Board of Directors meeting, it was Supervisor Foley that brought up that the TCA should partially fund the Los Patronos Parkway extension. So that is a major problem.
Where does that one go? Does that go from Cow Camp Road that in whatever it is, Rancho Mission Viejo?
That's basically the extension that we stopped.
Exactly.
And that would take it up to what, Ortega
Pico.
Highway?
To La Plata, yes.
Oh, to La Plata,
To La
basically.
Plata.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're inching their way to San Clemente again, guys. So, and Katrina is a friend, and when I'm planning to have her on in November, and
Please do.
I will bring it up. But no, every state in this country that has a military base has a public road that runs through it. I have driven a lot of them on the East Coast. There's no reason that you can't basically approach Pendleton. We have people that live in San Clemente. We have a congressman that lives in San Clemente. Shout out to Mike Levin and to Katrina, and say, look, no, don't. Why would you impact a secondary road with all of that traffic? You want to come with a sustainable solution? Divert a lot of the traffic that's going to San Diego. Go connect the 241 through Pendleton and avoid that impact on South County.
Yep.
Because it's not going to get better, it's just going to get worse, and now you're running that through the downtown, and then you're going to need another solution later. And I know there's people that are interested in doing that for ulterior reasons, or for, and I'm not saying Katrina or Michael, but like there was a motivation, because just like the 73, there was no development around the 73, and then they ran the 73, and then development came up, right? So I get it, I do, but it's a foolish pursuit. And it's going to prove itself. You're going to spend all this money to do environmental studies, to do CEQA, to do all of this stuff. You're going to have to go through all that process, and then we're going to find ourselves, the way we posed the question for a solution to begin with is going to undermine the answers that we're going to get.
So
Absolutely.
let's jump out of the car. We need to jump in the train. You know,
Yeah, that
you could have-
European, that's a
you could have
European
problem
mindset.
with the coastal train. You know?
Well,
It's going
there's-
to cost millions and millions.
Well, they're
of
going to have to
dollars
move the coastal
make
train someday eventually, it seems like.
Yeah,
They
you're
can't,
going
they can't
to
keep
need the
shoring it
speed
up.
train.
Yeah, we're okay with having a station that opens up on the pier.
Yeah.
I think the problem with the train is this, because you can see it with just the frequency and the schedule. Okay, when I had a client that was in Burbank, I would take the train from San Juan Capistrano, and I would go to my client meeting. I'd have to schedule myself in such a way that I didn't end up getting stranded in LA for the majority of the day, because I would now have to wait 2 to 3 hours to catch a train. The problem with the train service is that we don't have enough frequency
Absolutely.
of travel
This
and
is
trips.
why you need the speed train.
It's not about
The
that.
fast train, yeah.
The
because,
bullet train.
you know,
Yeah,
if
but
it's
that- but-
shorter-
but-
shorter
Yeah,
time,
but
that
that's
means
not.
you have less
It was
weight.
look, Pascal. It took exactly as long to get from San Juan Capistrano to LA as it would have for me to drive it by train currently. And guess what? I had my cup of coffee. I caught up on my emails. It was much less
It's
stressful.
good for your stress. Yeah.
Right. So I don't. And
That's a
when
hard
you
life,
say
you know?
bullet train, the bullet train is going to have impact. It has infrastructure that has to be built. You're going through a developed existing communities. Before we get to spend more money on higher technology, just add more trips, because here's what's going to happen. if you added more trips, I would get on the train at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
or 5 o'clock, go catch theater at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in LA, catch dinner, come back at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. As long as you run, every other country in the world runs their trains later. I'm not
I
even
don't
talking.
think Amtrak is capable to do that.
Why not? It's a demand. It's a supply and demand situation.
I don't know.
Develop the demand. The demand is there. You just have to channel it.
Amtrak, for me, my vision is very old-fashioned. And
What's your old fashioned? Put in a bullet train? That's not very old fashioned.
No, Amtrak doesn't update, doesn't
How long-
upgrade.
How long in the day does the subway in Paris run?
All day.
Exactly. We don't have a subway. We have a train system.
Yeah.
And by the way, Orange County was built on train infrastructure.
Absolutely.
All the communities, that was the form of transportation,
Sure.
right? I mean, I'm not asking people to basically build more infrastructure. We have a trolley system. You know, that's a totally funny story. San Clemente basically was the first one who proposed the trolley, and we were the last one to get it because we were waiting for 3 cities to basically connect with us to do that in order to make the project viable. Dana Point ended up getting their trolley. San Juan Capistrano got a trolley, and basically we ended up Laguna got a trolley, and we ended up being the last game to get a trolley in town to get a trolley, even though we were the first one who proposed it.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, so to your point, and we're talking traffic right now, increase the frequency of the train. If you increase the frequency of the train, at least a quarter, not even going to say half, a quarter of the traffic going to San Diego will take the friggin' train. I would. Why do I want to stick in traffic starting my weekend?
You know what that would
You
help
are
with is
correct.
because as Rod was he disclosed this. I don't know if this is public yet.
Can you say this on there?
But there's plans afoot to take out San Clemente's Old Town and build high-rise apartments and hotels and stuff there. And they're going to do massive redevelopment.
No, I
of the
did
whole-
not disclose that.
Aren't they going to bulldoze the whole
This is
Old
this
Town?
is this is
Say
fake news,
Don't say that.
fake news, or faux news if you want to be French about
Sure,
it.
I thought we were going to just take all that old stuff out and go up and do
No,
giant high-rises.
but you know what? You know what? That one time when you basically thought we were off the air, and you were telling about how Rancho is basically in decline, and they're going to be building underground tram systems and secret hideaways, and I don't know what were you talking about? Like an Amazon warehouse down underneath Rancho Santa
Well,
Margarita?
no, they were going to build a tunnel through the mountains for
I
a
have
while.
a question for you.
Yes.
Do you consider San Clemente a destination city, a tourist city, or how much business there is
Ooh,
to go there?
you're scraping and you're picking at another
We
scab.
are a wonderful beach city, and which is a tourist
That likes the
city.
tourists, but we don't want to call ourselves tourists.
Exactly.
Right. But it's the same kind of like Laguna has a kind of love-hate situation with the tourist thing. And then if you've tried to drive to Laguna in the beginning of summer or the end of summer, you'll know why. But I think that's an interesting point because it starts to reflect on sort of development and infrastructure and support services, right? So San Clemente, yes, benefits from
Absolutely.
tourism.
That's what I was getting at. Because, I mean, I know I was kidding, and that's not in the works. But I'm just saying that many cities are looking at that
Thank you for clarifying
as
that.
they try and figure out how to balance between the old-fashioned community atmosphere that people move there for and like, and the fact that we need more housing, and there's push for more tourists, and all this development.
On businesses, the cities they need larger business.
Revenue,
They need
right.
to
Yeah.
create
We
jobs.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, and we start touching on like the regional solutions for like workforce housing and proximity housing, and after COVID, the work hybrid situation puts different demands on the city. So again, before we get way too involved with these guys basically weighing in from the peanut gallery at the
don't know.
control tower,
Just
right?
throwing it in here, yeah.
Right. Hey, whose show is this? Anyway, I forgot now. Oh, wait, hold on, it's mine. So you were involved in a lot of stuff. Toll road.
Absolutely.
You said toll road, and look at where we are right now.
Yeah.
We got derailed, really.
We
Right,
did.
we got derailed on the toll
I
road.
was going to tell you that I sent an email to Ryan Chamberlain. He's the TCA CEO regarding what Supervisor Foley had stated, and I said, our agreement said that the TCA was completed. They finalized it, and he said he understood the agreement, but it did not preclude the TCA from partially funding it. the Los Patronos Parkway extension. So there's a big major concern there because they're not going to do it as in the goodness of their own hearts. It's not an altruistic situation.
So get those signs back out, people.
Absolutely.
Take them out of the garages
Absolutely.
because here's the deal. If for those who don't know, it's a little bit of history. The TCA was formulated to manage the toll roads until the bonds were paid back, not refinanced, paid back, and then the roads would be basically returned to public use. Okay? If the TCA wants us to dig up all that stuff again, I guess we're going to have to dig up all the stuff again and educate more people now about this, because I'm sure the people at Cow Camp and that there's retirement or 55 plus communities that are out there that are selling themselves on the pristineness of their hillsides are not going to want a freeway or an arterial road that has a heavy traffic on it running through there. And definitely the people in Tolega and the people in San Clemente that have now more affluent house prices are not going to basically not take out their checkbooks and basically fund a fight against the TCA. So the TCA wants to bring this fight on again. Bring it. You're not, I don't think you're going to win this one either. And that's why I'm saying, look at solutions that are achievable and sustainable, sensitive, and appropriate.
So what are the current issues in San Clemente? You've stopped
Well,
the toll
hold
road.
on a second. Toll road thing is one, but I want you, Amanda, to basically tell other people, because you're involved in a lot of other stuff.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of history of activism and involvement in San Clemente.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Well, again, fighting the American Tower. That was one of the things that they wanted. This company wanted to build a tower, actually, to occupy or place a cell phone tower on a building that had been abandoned since 1960. So that was a major issue, which unfortunately led to them filing for a lawsuit regarding, because there were some mistakes. The city didn't really do its due diligence in seeing that this building had been abandoned since 1960. So that was one situation. Also, Amazon, I had mentioned that before.
Yeah, there was a discussion about a big warehouse distribution center.
Absolutely, which would bring a lot of trucks in our area,
More
to
traffic.
arterials, more traffic, and then that would trigger the TCA from possibly doing another traffic study. And then again, also the La Plata gas station, which, well, that was a big concern because then you would be bringing more trucks for semis. And then remember, Alternative 22 came with climbing trucking lanes, which it was Stan Barankiewicz, who was hired by the Capistrano Unified School District, brought up and said, these are trucking climbing lanes. And so,
And for people who don't know what that is, will you explain it?
so it basically, it was just allows trucks to go up that area, and so that was a big concern. And actually, it would go by Tesoro High School, and that was a major concern about coming down that area, about problems with semis making that
For
turn.
anybody who's driven that road, you know what you're
Because
talking
isn't there,
about.
I know we're going way down the rabbit hole. So Soro High School was built in an area that's kind of a little valley, and then afterwards they said they're going to put the toll road right behind it, and we're like, that close to the school, fumes,
Yeah,
accidents,
that was part of the fight.
But isn't there
And that
another?
hasn't changed.
There's another like little dirt road that continues down there that isn't used or something behind Tesoro High School. I think
Yeah,
Yes.
there's an easement behind Tesoro that they were trying to basically kind of
Use
clamp on. Yeah. So to Paul's question, and for those who don't know, would you share, because San Clemente districting for us is a new thing,
Yes.
right?
So what is your
So
district?
what is the district?
You mean District 3?
What are the boundaries of District 3?
Well, I think I should have. Well, District 3 is
Just
the boundary is Trafalgar Canyon.
yeah.
And it goes up to like Ola Vista, and then it goes to North Beach, goes all the way through North
North
Beach,
Beach.
up to a little bit of Shore Cliffs, of course, Maricosta, a
Yeah.
little bit part of that, and then across the freeway,
At Estrella, I think.
right at Estrella,
Yeah.
and then up the hill in San Clemente, and I can't remember the names of those streets, but
Yeah.
up on the hill.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked is, again, most people in most cities, but we're no exception, believe that maybe they're voting for people at large. especially if they are not accustomed to the fact that they live in a district. And we are a small town. Like geographically, we're a small town. We have a lot of population, much more than 30 years ago when I moved in there, but it's still a small town. I mean, we're still smaller than one of the districts in Irvine.
Absolutely.
Right? But if you're not aware and you live in San Clemente, we are this time around voting for 2 districts out of, I think, how many did they end up agreeing with? 4 or 5?
4.
4 districts total.
Absolutely. And yes, 4. And then the boundary is also the freeway.
Right.
So that's the boundary.
Right.
Yeah,
And you're like confused. Why is it 4 districts, 1 candidate per district when we have 5 people in city council? Well, because the 5th position is going to be an elected mayor, and that was
Correct.
part of the decision. So we went from 5 at large to 4 districts, and they're staggering the districts. So this time around, we're voting for 2 districts. I believe the next time around is to 2 districts and the mayor, maybe, or is the mayor the last piece of the puzzle?
No, actually, in 2026, the mayor, people are gonna vote for
So it's
mayor.
it's a midterm
Right.
kind of
For
situation.
2 years.
Right.
For mayor.
For
Right,
mayor.
Exactly.
And the mayor term is only 2 years?
Only 2 years.
So every 2 years, we're basically changing mayor?
Correct.
Well, we're going to be like Switzerland, where nobody remembers who the mayor is or the president of the country.
Exactly.
They
Right.
don't even know there's a
Yeah,
mayor.
yeah, but no, we know we're a small town. We'll know who the mayor is, and we'll come find you. But the thing about it is, if you're not aware of that, that's the situation. So to add to the complexity, like Amanda just described, you're going from almost downtown on one side of the freeway,
Right.
going up the coast, and then you're crossing over to the other side. So
Right.
it's not like, oh, I'm this neighborhood. Like, we have neighborhoods in
Yeah,
San
it's
Clemente.
two
We got like
different
Riviera
Absolutely.
and Riviera and Cottons and North Beach and stuff. It's not that way. The districting map is not that way. It's on the city website if you're
Right,
not
it is.
clear.
And you could zoom in to where your street is
Yeah.
at, but I'm glad they do have that because
yeah.
unfortunately some people don't know.
Well, and
They don't.
I brought
Though-
this up with somebody, I can't remember who it is, because there's some districts that are doing that as well. I think it was Mike Munzing when he was on. We were talking about Aliso Viejo. There doesn't seem to be there seems to be a missed opportunity in educating people in these
Absolutely.
cities that have new districting.
Yes, and
We
I
didn't
did,
really do that.
I did speak to the city manager, Mr. Hall, to have some town hall meetings
Yeah.
because we had that when we were fighting the toll road, and those were really important. And unfortunately, we did.
You know what?
they did
What
not do
just
that.
occurred to me, Amanda, and we were talking to the previous guest. We were talking about all that negative flyers and things that come in the mail and all the stuff and stuff that looks like it's Halloween because it's starting to be scare tactics to somebody, right?
Yes.
It's like, I know it's Halloween, but you don't need to basically show everybody like a vampire, right, or a zombie, right? But that would have been a perfect opportunity
Absolutely.
for that to be included. Like I have not seen a district map on anybody who's running for office to say, hey, this is the area,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
It's all about this and this and this, but it's like, hey, how about we start with the basics? Am I in your district? I mean, I'm getting it in the mail, so I'm assuming I'm in your district, but still.
the coastal side, is that a separate district?
There's two
There's 2 districts.
districts on the coastal side.
Okay, and 2.
Amanda's
the left
District
side.
3, I believe, it starts from almost
Right.
downtown
I think I brought
and
it
goes
out.
all the way to the North Beach, the north end of town,
Okay.
which encompasses the north end of town, and then it crosses over to Estrella,
Yeah.
right? But then
Good.
you have from the downtown area south. Is the downtown? Is Del Mar in your district?
Yes, it is.
Right. So if you know Del Mar and San Clemente, it's just a little south of that, but then everything south of that down to Cottons and Via
Well,
Representante,
includes-
is that included?
The pier is included,
But
the
not
pier
not
bowl.
south
And
of the pier.
there's a cutoff on Victoria. See, it's
Well,
really
when you
straight.
say Trafalgar,
it's
it's
Cazador Lane,
Right.
and then goes to Victoria.
Right.
And it's really
But that's the
wonky.
Pier Bowl.
Right.
That's the
Yes,
Pier Bowl.
Pier
That's
Bowl.
not Riviera.
No,
That's
yeah,
not
correct.
so just for simplicity, just a little bit south side of the pier is a different district.
Exactly.
Right. And then I'm up in Salvador, and that's another the other district that's in play right now.
Absolutely.
Right.
District
So
4, yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not like the way we normally think in town
And then
about
you've got
zones
the big,
and neighborhoods.
and then you've got across the freeway where the what's the development begins with a T here?
Trafalgar, Talega.
Talega. So
Talega.
Talega's a district.
My
That's another
point
That's
is
another
Yes.
district.
Yes.
I believe that's in the current district that's in play, or no?
No, that's no.
See, that's really confusing because now it's just like a pinch area that then kind of loops around.
It's really confusing. It really is.
And it wasn't
and
easy.
I thought I
Yeah.
brought a map. I think I might
Just
have
go
left
to
it
go
in the
go
car.
go to
Yes. But
san-clemente.org and you'll
when I
see
go
it.
to San Clemente, I can see two different lifestyle. You have the ocean lifestyle, and then you have the hill with more
Suburban.
residential and high-end housing. You know.
Tract home.
So
yeah.
so this is
Well-
really funny because that's not true either.
That isn't true. Yes.
Right? Because the beach side has, I can tell you just very simply,
Oh,
you have
yeah.
you have no hold on. You have North Beach as a community, you have Los Molinos as a community, which is this the sort of mixed use industrial, light industrial.
Right.
You have where you go up the hill and the old chamber building, and then you have the Maxburg Park neighborhood area that then starts to
Exactly.
bleed into the city. Then you have the Del Mar area. Then you have the Casador north, end of the pier, south end of the pier area,
Right.
and then you start dropping down, and now you've got Riviera. Then you've got sort of heading down towards Cottons and
Yeah.
Cypress
Yeah.
Shores
Further
and Cypress
south,
Cove.
it's changed.
Then you've
Exactly.
got the north side of the freeway that's past El Camino Real. That's its own little neighborhood, which is really two identities. You have the townhouses that are closer to El Camino Real. Then you have the single family homes around the old golf course. Then you come this way and you go up the hill. Now you got the hillside in Salvador. And then you go down towards the lake. It's like and realtors will tell you this.
I can't argue with that. He
Yeah,
knows,
it's
No, no,
residential
he knows
heights.
he's done too much.
Realtors will tell you this. Every one of those submarkets is its own identity.
Exactly.
And there are people that market specifically in those submarkets. So they specialize in those submarkets. Realtors are really good, actually. But what I'm saying to you is even if you live in San Clemente and you basically know this, the districts don't follow. It's an overlay that doesn't necessarily follow this. So you could easily have that whole south end of Del Mar where it's split into two,
Exactly.
even though you're not north end, because we refer to north end of the pier, south end of the pier.
So what
Well,
are
actually,
the issues in
well,
your
the-
district as we're running out of time here?
Okay. Oh, sorry. But I just wanted to say that the Pier Bowl district is intact, and because there was a map 111, which the city council decided to select at one point, and we fought against that because it's under the Pier Bowl specific plan.
Yeah.
So that Pier Bowl is.
There was trying to
Right.
an attempt to match the general plan with the Pier Bowl plan with the new
Correct.
district so that it doesn't end up fragmenting, which is
Absolutely.
critical because that downtown area faces a lot of like common things with economic pressures and development pressure and stuff. So
Absolutely.
to split it into two would have been a nightmare.
Yeah,
I
it
would like
have.
to add something because I
Oh, sure, absolutely.
felt it as a restaurant owner.
Yes.
And I don't know who did that or when that was done, but I think at one point there was some incentive to bring in owners, like single family owners, mom and pop, to San Clemente, low rent, something like that. They're still going on.
Not really part of that, although you touch on some of the issues to answer Paul's question that maybe we're facing as a community and every community in Orange County is facing. So, Amanda, we've got about 10 minutes. I really want you to,
Oh,
first of all, make sure to give the website
Okay.
where people can find out more about you.
Sure.
You've been really involved in a lot of stuff for a long time, so you know your town pretty well. You know
Absolutely.
who's, the power brokers, you know the dynamics, which we always say that that's a good positive. And I know that even though you're running for a district, the way that you would probably serve in that capacity, should you win, would not be limited necessarily to that district.
No, absolutely not. Because I've fought against a lot of areas and I've been asked by a lot of people can you help me with this, like pickleball, or that was in District 3.
Yeah.
American Tower, that was a different district. But I'm
CEQA issues.
right,
yeah.
CEQA, absolutely. So I would represent everybody, and as always, just it's issue based, and I'm really it's so important for me to listen to what the residents want,
Yeah.
and that's the key issue there.
So
right
what
there.
are some of the stuff that's on your radar, whether it's district related or San Clemente at large? Really?
Sure. District 3 related would be, again, issues regarding safety or public safety at North Beach, Maxburg Park. That is a major issue there. Thank you for bringing that up because there was problems with RV parking along Maxburg Park and by Las Palmas Elementary School. And I worked collaboratively with Capistrano Unified School District, the city, and OCSD, and I was asked to help look over the RV ordinance and revise that, edit some things to make it more safe for children because people were going onto school grounds, so that was a safety issue there. So again, safety, having a SRO.
To what?
maybe-
Use the services, basically, the bathrooms and stuff like that, or what?
No, yes, some were going there to.
Yeah, because the
use-
infrastructure for RVing is not. I mean, I can
Right,
see why.
it's- yeah,
who would
there's-
RV there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they were parking there for days to weeks, and that was a major concern. And so again, still in the summer, there's always concerns regarding gang related
Yeah,
incidences.
that area has been needing attention
Absolutely.
for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, public safety in that area at North Beach and Del Mar, the Pier Bowl, and even if it's not even my district, doesn't matter. But there's problems at T Street
Yeah.
and RV parking there as well. Safety is just so imperative in any place. There was problems with the Chilean gangs or the South American gangs and
Yeah.
up until Lega, so that was another problem. And so again, public safety is just imperative that we have. I mean,
How long have you been in San Clemente?
53 years, right? Yeah, I thought it was a little bit longer.
So
but
you're a
no, it was
newcomer to
53.
the area. Here you go.
Yes, just a newcomer.
How long? When was San Clemente founded? For Pete's sake, what, in the 20s?
No,
or 30s?
you're in a way, what you're touching on, Paul, is actually kind of a little comical, because there are people don't realize that San Clemente is actually a lot of multi-generations like that have been in there. So I remember, for example, talking to people who grew up in town, and they would tell me that the town was such, and it still is to a certain extent, but it was such that if they got in trouble in North Beach and they lived in south side of the pier, their parents would know about it before they got back home.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, we're really community. I mean, oriented. Everybody knew everybody.
And that was before technology and texting. So imagine now.
Absolutely. Yes. People were aware. A lot of, see, it's about community, and it's been maintained throughout the generations, and I'm really glad about that.
Do
What-
you have a good chamber of commerce?
I think so. I think,
Yeah, we
yes,
do.
We
We do. I mean,
But I
and-
think it's
Absolutely.
very important. Me, again,
Yeah.
I come back
But-
to my own life. You have so much great destination for dining that people need
It's
to know
true.
more of it. I think.
Absolutely.
But Pascal, yes, and I think we have a downtown association, we have a chamber of commerce.
Yes.
They both are very good, and like I said, people have different, not necessarily agendas, but plans and processes and how they go about things. But at the end of the day, everybody that's engaged in San Clemente has the interest of being like best interest of San Clemente. When it comes to the stuff you're talking about, we do need the support structures. We don't necessarily have them there, right?
Yeah.
We do need to address the fact that, especially after COVID, we have become more of a destination. People
Absolutely.
come more. There's more impact on the infrastructure and services. The city has done relatively okay,
Right.
but to the point, like we are also geographically very contained. So that RV situation, for example, I would think is a situation that basically would impacts every neighborhood in the city, because you could
Absolutely.
literally come in, park your RV,
Right.
and basically spend the whole summer basically at the beach, but your RV parked on a street.
Right, and then
On
we're
City
so
Street.
glad that the Public Safety Committee used the template as Dana Point used.
Yeah.
But even then, that made it less restrictive. So then, with more fine touches on that, it now is more restrictive, and that really will help everybody in San Clemente. But then, another important issue in District 3 also is the sand issue.
Yeah, I
And
wanted to talk to you about that.
Fortunate about that.
So what do you think about that one?
I think it was great that the city of San Clemente decided to do the scoop permit.
Yeah. Yeah.
for the 30,000 cubic yards of sand, and then the second one was the 7,000 units of cubic yards of sand.
And there's a measure. Don't we have a measure about that right now?
Ballot measure BB is up, and also I attended the OCTA meeting this Monday, and Supervisor Foley made an announcement that I think Thursday or so, I think Congressman Levin is going to announce another tranche of money coming towards helping OCTA, and then also with sand, because
Is that going to be enough?
How
long
I
it will
think
last?
so. I think, excuse me. I really don't know how long that will last.
Well, it's a reoccurring issue.
It is, absolutely.
It's a reoccurring issue, and we've touched on this before. I think when Chris maybe was here or somebody else was here, about the fact that when you have development up the watershed, you don't have the
Yes.
residual deposits that come down and end up being deposited on the beach. So when you don't have a natural replenishment of
Right.
shoreline. Shorelines are not, endless, in infinity. They have to be replenished. So if you're not getting that replenishment from inland,
Right.
and you are basically, in this case, like you're saying, a destination that has a beach situation, you need to do that.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. Yes. Thank you. Also, probably really quick on
Yeah.
time here, but no, we need retention measures absolutely, and
And there may be a solution with the harbor development, by the way, that we can maybe repurpose some stuff from there.
Well, from what Supervisor Foley stated, that the OCTA basically applied for $460 million worth of grants, and they have committed $70 to $145 million for sand for our beaches.
I'm just saying, if
And
you're
they
digging
have
a
to-
hole in the
right.
harbor for mega yachts, you might be able to use it in San Clemente. Well, how do people find out more about you, Amanda?
Oh yeah, they could go on my webpage, and it's A Quintanilla 324 at
.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
.org.
.org. Is it .org?
You know what? I think it's .com.
It's-
Sorry,
it's,
sorry.
it's
.com.
actually
.com.
yeah, it's a .com, and
Sorry.
it's all right, and we have it on the web, on our social media postings.
Oh, well,
sorry.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
for
appreciate it.
sure.
Maybe I missed a letter or two.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Here's what's so cute about this, right? I've known Amanda for a long time, and I keep telling people this is live, so sometimes people get a little nervous, even
I
though
know, it's like-
even though they know people. But I will say something about this lady. She's been very engaged, very involved. I mean, we were lockstep on the toll road, right? And those kind of things are important in San Clemente. I love the fact that there's new blood coming in, that people that engage, and like I said, everybody who puts their hand up and is of service or wants to basically do something, they may differ in how they go about it. But when it comes to San Clemente, I really like to believe that everybody's right is heart is in the right place.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I have to say this, that there was a list of people that I went to and spoke to, and immediately Senator Pat Bates said, "I'll endorse you." I mean, immediately, to have that support. Michelle Schumacher and Kathy Ward, gave me some great advice
Right.
and support, and it's just having that, and it all comes down from our advocacy.
Right,
That was
yeah.
excellent. You
Yeah.
were amazing.
Well, you're being acknowledged for your work, and
Oh,
I
thank
really,
you.
it's only 6 days, so hang in there,
Absolutely.
and
We'll make it.
hopefully we'll have you back on later.
Right, and you
We'll
were the
see you
one
then.
that said,
I
oh,
gotta
sorry.
cut it off
Okay,
here. They're all
sorry.
pushing at the door here.
Thank you.
All right.
But thanks for joining us, everybody, and
Good
we
luck to
will
you.
be back
Thank
tomorrow.
you so much. Great.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, back in your ear tomorrow, Paul.